Welcome! This video contains an introduction, an interview so you can gain deeper understanding of the subject from spirit level, and a group frequency calibration so you can start to clear the frequency distortion patterns around this topic. Enjoy! Hi everyone, my name is Karen Cheong and I'm here with my co-host Dennis Kelly. Today we're discussing the gift of the body. Now in our culture, there seems to be two predominant themes that happen around the idea of the body. One thing that happens is that we often distract ourselves from the body. So we do things like get obsessed with our phones, social media, watching a lot of television, or even addictive patterns like eating or drinking a lot of alcohol or drugs. And this disassociates us from our bodies. The other phenomena that sort of happens in our culture is that there are these sort of ideas that percolate down from religion or spirituality that the body is actually negative or holds us back or sinful or dirty, or that we want to escape it in order to reach the brilliance. Both of these things negate the body, but the body is an extraordinarily important tool and can help us really transform and ascend even higher if we learn how to leverage it. So today, that's what we're going to discuss. Let's jump right in. Dennis?
Okay, Karen, I'll tell you what, this will be a fun segment.
Okay.
We're going to talk about the body and how it fits into this whole scenario when we talk about evolving and becoming aware and awakening. So we've all so fortunate to have this body.
Yeah.
But I heard you talk about density. What does that mean?
So density is just physicality, solidity, form. So I'm going to go a little bit further. So normally we are not in the body, like we are disembodied beings. Okay, we don't have form. We don't have density. So actually, we have come into the body to experience density, form, solidity, in order to have the experience of the emotions that we have, the sensuality we have. All those things don't exist without the body. If you're just disembodied, then you don't get to feel all this stuff and at this intensity. So it's really a tremendous gift because we can learn so much from all this input, really.
You know, and I'll tell you what I've sensed is that, you know, so often we go through life and we have these traumas and we have these hardships and we have these heartaches and all we want to do really is escape. We want to leave the body. I want to get rid of these emotions. I want to get rid of these feelings. And so I'm hearing you say that the key to success is you've got to be present to win.
Yes, exactly. So exactly that. So you have to be in your body, meaning that you have to be experienced and experience your body and present in it, because that anchors you, first of all, in time, in the collective present now. And the reason that is important is because that is a place from which we co-create. If you are outside of the collective present now and you're a little bit in the future or a little bit in the past, you actually cannot really influence your reality. You need to be in the now in order to have access to any and all possibilities. So being in the body allows you to be in the present. It also allows you to experience everything that is required in order for you to learn. So if we're always exiting the body, then we're not really experiencing things. We're actually trying to avoid things that we're meant to learn. And actually, like may have mentioned before, emotions don't last very long. They only last a few seconds to a couple of minutes. You're just having a purely emotional response. And so if you allow yourself to be in your body and feel the emotion, no matter how strong it is, even if it's a tremendous grief or tremendous joy or tremendous bliss or tremendous anger even, it will come through you and then pass. And then allowing yourself to feel that is actually very liberating because it just passes through you. It's the holding of it or the resisting it that causes more tension and more trauma, because you spend all this energy trying to not experience that emotion and not be present in your body feeling that thing. So yes, a lot of people do try to escape when they have trauma. And it's reasonable, obviously, it doesn't feel good. And at the same time, if you're in your body and present and feeling this and, you know, having this frequency work to help catalyze you forward, it will pass through.
So this is quite a different concept than, you know, a lot of folks would think that, to learn to meditate is to kind of escape or leave the body.
Yeah.
I want to rid myself of this situation, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so the answer is out the back door.
Right.
I've got to get out of here.
Right.
I want to get out of this physical world.
Yes.
And so it may lead to suicide, it may lead to whatever. And what you're saying is really what you want to be able to do is to function in this body.
Exactly.
And to be in this moment and to feel and to express and to live.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. And what I would say about the trauma and the suicide and all that stuff is really caused by the distortion in the frequency patterns. Okay, so whether you try to escape or not, the frequency patterns are still running. So you aren't really escaping them because they're still there running. Okay, so it's hard to avoid them unless you can delete them in some way or remove yourself from them. And what I just want to mention, I know you have another question, is the secret. Actually, the secret is it's all deep within. So we all try to exit, but actually it's to go so deep, 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 deep within. You can actually access infiniteness through the very core of your body. And it's actually within us already. We contain the universes within us. We contain all the realities within us. We just have to go in. And a lot of people want to escape out. The answer isn't out, it's in. And also, by going in, you recognize that everything is already within you. There's nothing that's external to you that you need. It's all in here. And it's through, deep, deep, deep within that you can find that liberation that a lot of us are looking for, or that bliss feeling, or whatever it is that you're seeking.
So you're saying that maybe my whole life has been dedicated to seeking. Seeking answers, seeking the truth, seeking, relationships, seeking abundance.
Yeah.
And what you just made me realize is that all that is external.
Yes.
And really, where we want to be is to have the courage and strength to go within.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. Because everything exists inside of us. Like we really, because we have eyes and we look out, we think that our realities are all out here, right? And that we need everything out here. But it actually is all being created within us already. And so you could actually just sit on your couch and have an amazing experience because it's all within you. Yeah. Or you can live as brilliantly, as fully, as wonderfully as you want and be that full expression of all that. And that's wonderful too. And they're kind of like the same in some bizarre way because it's really all within you. It's just how you choose to express it. Does that make sense?
So I could have the best of all worlds by discovering the world within me.
Yes, and it's all in your body. It's in your density. It's the celebration of this thing and going within it.
Wow.
Because in every one of your cells and every string of your DNA are the universes. You hold it all in you. It's all there.
What's kind of exciting about this discussion is the fact that we're kind of cycling back to that very first series that we did. And we talked about frequencies. And we talked about distortions. And so the gift that you have, just going back to that discussion, is the fact that you can help me with my distortions as far as helping to become aware, to release, and then to start to realize this tremendous gift that we each have.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And it's funny, the brilliance is within the body. We don't really understand. We always seek brilliance outside. I also did this, sought brilliance outside of myself, like connecting to something outside of myself. It's inside you. It already is there. You've just forgotten. So to become aware of your own brilliance, to claim it and understand that connection to pure source and how powerful it is, and that it is already intrinsically us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic. You do a super job of really helping me realize the gift that we have being human and having human bodies.
Yes.
Because in another series talk that we did, you talked about how spirit moves in to this physical world.
Yeah.
And when these two come together and we move from just being a human to being this spiritual being, that's where the magic is. And that's what you're talking about. It's all within.
Yeah, it's all within.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a gift. And, it's funny, People forget we chose to come into these bodies. It's actually a privilege. Like imagine you're in oneness, right? You're connected to all that is. Like you wouldn't come here if it sucked. You would want to come here if you were here to learn something. And what we can learn in the body, because we're so blinded by our senses. Like we really believe this is all real. Like this is real, this is real, and we think that that's what it, that this is our limitation. And in that limitation, in the kind of blindness of our senses, because there's so much to transcend, because we've forgotten all this, the amount that we can move in this plane on spirit level is vast, because we have to transcend so much to like even wake up and remember. So that's like rocket fuel on spirit level, because when you're disembodied and connected to the oneness and you remember all that is, it's kind of harder to be like, wow, this is a new lesson. I've learned so much, because you're not as bound by what we think is real and what limits us. Does that make sense? So we can transcend and awaken in the body on spirit level. It's like this huge jump in terms of the growth. Yeah. Does that make sense? So it seems like we're moving this much here, but there we're like, boom. Does that make sense? Because the learning is so tremendous.
It does.
Yeah.
The other thing that as you were going through that is to realize that we all, each and every one of us, have that same potential.
Absolutely.
No matter
Absolutely.
Gender,
yeah,
religion,
yeah,
the school I went to,
doesn't matter.
the money
Irrelevant.
that I have, the car I drive,
irrelevant.
My health, no matter what my situation is,
yep,
if I'm in a human body, I've got that potential.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. It's really a gift.
Oh.
Karen, could you help me? I hear so often when I look at your video or your website, GFC. Exactly what is that?
A GFC is a group frequency calibration, which looks a lot like a guided meditation on a particular topic. And what I'm doing is I'm helping you to remove the distortion patterns of that particular topic. And because you're coming together as a mastermind in a group to connect to pure source even more and to clear the distortion patterns of this particular topic, what happens is a tremendous amount of momentum starts to happen because of the energetic of the entire group, and each individual is able to move faster and ascend higher than they could have on their own. Welcome everyone to the Group Frequency Calibration, or GFC, on the gift of the body. So let's begin by taking 3 breaths into your lower belly. So taking a deep breath in, holding it for a second or two, and then releasing. Holding out the voided breath by at least 1 to 2 seconds. Taking another inhale and holding for at least 2 to 3 seconds longer than you did the previous breath. Really feeling your lungs expand with the fullness of air, and then exhaling and holding out the voided breath for at least 1 to 2 seconds longer than you did the previous breath. And on your third breath, a similar pattern where you're going to inhale, hold for at least a second or two longer than you did the previous breath. And this time when you exhale, exhale loud and with sound, kind of like a feeling the air pass over your vocal cords, out of your lungs. When you're complete with those 3 breaths at your own time, no hurry, please continue to breathe regularly into your lower belly. And for those of you that are new, please note that I am working on you even as I am speaking. And the mastermind has now come together. So the mastermind is when 2 or more beings come together for a particular purpose. And in this case, the purpose is the highest purpose possible, which is to connect to pure source even more. So you are coming together with the highest and best versions of everyone's highest selves, essentially. So you're not going to pick up anyone's garbage, and you're only going to be meeting with the highest and best of everyone, which is really awesome. Because the purpose of this is the highest possible. Good. So please become very aware of your limbs as you are either sitting, standing, or lying down, how they're positioned, their weight, and how you are relative to the space in the room. And if you're outside, what's around you? As you take another deep breath into your belly, the first distortion pattern that we're going to clear is the distortion pattern of fear of being in the body. So for some of you, you're afraid to be in your bodies because you've had a lot of trauma. Okay, you've either been in a car accident, you've been really sick, you have had a lot of abuse, actually punishment, from somebody when you were growing up, so you would escape by leaving. Some of you have lineage patterns of torture or being hunted. So you have grandparents or great-grandparents who either were in pogroms or have survived genocide, perhaps even the Holocaust. So even if you've not experienced that yourself, you have this lineage pattern running through you, the fear of being in the body. So if you told me that you try to do a lot of mindfulness practices like yoga or meditation or whatever to feel still or relaxed, and it's hard for you to do that, to come into your body and just be still, part of the reason is because you're very afraid to be in your body. So just taking a deep breath into your stomach or your lower belly, let's just say. So just note that I'm working on you and the group, subgroup, and individual level. And when I'm speaking, if I say something that resonates with you, it's likely yours. And if I say something that you're very reactive against, it's likely yours as well. So please be open to that possibility. And also please note that I'll be making sounds on my end like sharp exhales or yawns, even though I'm not tired, or you might hear me hum or snap. That's just how I remove the distortion patterns at this current point in time. Taking another deep breath into your lower belly, removing this distortion pattern of fear, which for many of you is actually quite extreme. Especially those of you who were abused as children. Okay. And there are a couple of you who are extremely severely abused. So all right, and the next distortion pattern right behind this, still breathing please into the lower belly, is a religious external thought form and a cultural conditioning of loathing of the body. Okay? So whether you've learned through the media that you should hate your body because it's not quote unquote perfect, or because you were taught or your parents were told, it's not just you, right? These frequency patterns are running through generationally as well. So your parents or their grandparents or their parent, whatever it is, somewhere down the line, religion has informed them, and they believed that the body was shameful, sinful, dirty, or slow, or whatnot. And there's a small subgroup of you who are part of the, I guess, the spiritual movement that believes that the body is dense and stupid and dull and needs to be negated in order to go into the brilliance. So, anyway, removing all of these patterns that are binding you. It's very much difficult to experience the gift of the body if you have these distortion patterns running. And now the next distortion pattern of shame and low self-worth. This time breathing from your lower belly all the way up to where your sternum ends, please. So your sternum is where your ribs meet in the center in front of your body. So right underneath it, right, where your ribs sort of meet your flesh, sort of right at that apex there. You're going to breathe from the pit of your belly all the way up to that point. Mm-hmm. It's okay if you don't get it perfectly right. Just that channel. The front, yeah. So this shame is not only potentially about body image, depending on who you are, but also in that you even have a body, like somehow it's shameful to be in a body. So removing this as you breathe. And there's a small subgroup of you that are trying to escape your body. It's like you're trying to run away from it, like you're trying to leave it all the time. So next frequency distortion pattern has to do with low self-worth. Like, because you're in a body, you'll never be worthy of being loved. Or because you have the body you have, you'll never be loved or be enough. And if you're always sort of trying to get the perfect body by limiting what you eat, or like very, very strong exercise regimens or whatever, it's definitely how it might show up for you. There's nothing wrong with all that. It's just if it's being driven by a frequency pattern that's a distortion, it can be oppressive. And your body will never be good enough. Taking another deep breath into your lower belly, please. Good. So now please breathe or imagine, see, sense, or feel your spine. All the way from the tip of your tailbone up through the curve of your lower spine, past your ribs, up your neck, to the back of your skull. So for many of you, you are floating either above your body, in front of your body. Some of you have been hit in an accident, so you're like diagonally in front of your body. Some of you are floating behind. That's a very small number of you, actually. So we need to pull you back into your body. And not only so you can experience the sensuality of the body and all the growth opportunity in the body, but also so that you can be in the collective present now, which is the point from which we create all possibility of our reality. So if you're outside of that, then you are very disempowered and actually have no influence on your reality, which is a very disturbing and disorienting place to be, because we're naturally in a co-creation state with pure source. So pulling you back into your spine. Good.
be in your body with a little bit more ease. So you can now rest in your body, as opposed to fighting against it, or trying to get out of it all the time. All right. Taking a deep breath into your heart space, down to the middle of your solar plexus. So the midpoint between your belly button and where the ribs meet in front of your body. So the midpoint between there, wherever that is for you, between that midpoint in your solar plexus and your heart space. Please breathe. So many of you, when I see you on spirit level, are scattered. It's like you're very dispersed. And as a result, you're just scattered all over the place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull you back in so you can have a more focused, grounded in your body experience, as opposed to this really scattered experience. So I know we pulled your essence into your body, but now we're going to create a little bit more gelling. So you're not all over the place. Very nice. So if you can imagine your spirit body, which is a sphere that is arm's length around you. So if you put out your arms, like the Vesuvian man, right? If you put your arms out, stretch out your arms away from your body, just like stretch them out. At your fingertips, imagine a sphere, like like arm's length all the way around you. Okay, that's your spirit body. Yep. So you're going to imagine this sphere, or become aware of it. So imagine yourself standing in the very center of this sphere. And around it, it starts to glow. The sphere starts to glow around you, arm's length around you. So you're in the center, and around you is the sphere, and it starts to glow. And in response, your body starts to glow. So it's like they both start mirroring off of each other, this golden glow. And they may either start to glow together right at the beginning, or it may oscillate. Your body glows, then the sphere, then your body, then the sphere. And eventually, both will glow with a harmonized brilliance, either harmonized or the same, depending on who you are. Yes. working on you to harmonize and amplify. Nice. So I'm going to leave you here for as long as you like. I look forward to meeting you on the next GFC.